The Steam controller is here at last. Valve continues their move into the living room space with the releases of the Steam controller and the Steam Link, a device which allows you to stream footage from your PC directly to your TV. Both are releasing at £40 in the UK, and they can be ordered from Steam themselves or from various retailers. Now, the pre-order date was originally set for early November, however select places were providing it on the 16th of October instead, which is why I've got mine today. So, let's get unboxing. The Steam controller comes in this box with a cardboard sleeve around it. On the bottom side we can see what's inside. We'll be finding that out soon enough. Get a picture of the Steam controller, Valve's logo, and just more advertising bump on here. Assembled in the USA, apparently. Alright, if we slide this off, there was a sticker on it that was keeping it on, but that was unstock. Now, how do we open this? Okay, so on this box here, we've got a small sellotape or sticky back plastic area here. I'm going to use a bottle opener to open it because that's just how I roll. Was going to use a key. Don't ever show keys on camera because someone can potentially copy it. Okay, and chewing up the box a little bit. Fortunately, I don't really care about the box. I'm mainly interested in what's inside. There we go. Let's put the bottle opener away. And here we go, the Steam controller. Now I have an Xbox controller, Xbox 360 controller here next to me for scale. Alright. So here's a comparison of the sizes of the two devices. Very similar. The Steam controller feels much more bulky in the palm area. It's mainly being gripped around here, whereas the Xbox controller, in my experience, being mainly gripped around the fingers here and the thumbs. Bit of rest there, but mainly resting on your fingers, whereas this, it feels a bit more in the palms. Now, the main attraction, of course, for the Steam controller are these two touchpads. They click down. You can use each one as a clicky mouse if you want. You will also, I believe, I guess we'll find out later on, you can click on each of the sides, and because it's a touchpad surface, it will also pick up where on the surface you're touching, and therefore you can use this as a D-pad. You can see the D-pad marking on that surface. Here we've got a thumbstick. It's sticking out slightly, whereas an Xbox controller one sticks in. Feels alright. Feels like it doesn't have too big of a dead zone. We'll see how that actually functions in practice. We've got XA, XYAB buttons here. And we've got another touchpad with no surface on it. So typically, if you're playing, for instance, a first-person shooter, I imagine the setup would be that you'll be moving with this side and looking around here. This will potentially suffer from the same issue that you have with trackpads when it comes to aiming, where you can only drag in certain amounts at one time, but that's a lot more flexible than using a thumbstick, a lot more accurate. Along with the buttons on the front, we also have the what I imagine will be start and select equivalents, and we've also got the Steam button here. I imagine the way that will work in practice is that we will use this to bring up the Steam interface, and then these two perhaps to go through menus. We'll see. On the rear of the device, we've got the two touch clicky thingies here. That'll be why it's gripping more in the palms, because you want to have your fingers free to click onto these. And then we've got two shoulder buttons on each side. This one here is clicky, whereas this one feels a lot more like a trigger. It feels like it has a trigger sensitivity to it, and then it has a clicky function afterwards. So we essentially have right trigger, left trigger, shoulder buttons, and then also buttons which I'm feeling mainly like I'm gripping either with my middle and ring fingers, or potentially ring finger and pinky. Now, along with all this in the box, we also have a couple of batteries and the Steam USB device. Essentially, what this does is it links up with the controller. It's not Bluetooth, as far as I know. It's essentially it's like the Logitech keyboard and mice, where they have a 2.4 gigahertz transmitter. Similar also with the wireless Xbox controllers. If you're buying that for the PC, it has just a little USB dongle, and this will basically serve the same purpose, so no Bluetooth required here. In the rest of the box, underneath the cardboard surface here, we've got a quick start guide, we've got a product guide, and it looks like it may be a battery casing. Nope, no idea what that is. Okay, we've got a USB cable here. Looks like it may be slightly different from typical micro USB. I'm mystified by this device. I'm wondering what it does. I can see that we do have so it's got a USB-A type port here, but it's also got what looks kind of like a micro USB port there. I imagine this will be an extension cable then. So you can plug this into your computer, and then you can plug this into here. Yep, that's right. And then you can plug the wireless components into here if you want the extension. I believe also you can have this as a wired controller, so basically functions as either. So if you're not a fan of wireless, which I wouldn't blame you, then you can simply plug this into here. That may also be able to charge it as well. I hope so. And there we go, we're using this as a wired controller. Okay, so this thing runs off 2 AA batteries. Looks like the casing is under here. Looks like we've got a thing here. Alright, so this does push across. There we go. Alright, so we've got the 2 batteries contained within here. Okay, got to put the batteries in now. Now, I was just looking at the quick start guide and the product guide. The quick start guide does confirm that this is simply for extension purposes. Alright, let's finish hooking this up. Alright, so we got our battery compartment in, got our buttons there. So, now all there is to do is hook it up to the PC and get cracking.